Doug, if you found the lament configuration and you solved it, and like all the Cenobites that came were like members of Channel Awesome, how would you react?
I have no clue.
So Kickassia.
Kickassia.
It's a movie made by Channel Awesome.
I would say it's one of the greatest YouTuber movies of all time.
Well, what about the small? What about Fred?
Do you like
What
Fred?
about the Fred?
Okay, you're
I
right.
get-
Fred is the best. You're right. You're right.
I've
Kickassia is the
told you
second
this
best.
before. I got this friend who I can't tell if he's joking or not at this point. Who like sings the praises of the Fred movie.
Listen, I can understand Fred 3 singing the praises of Fred 3. That movie is kind of good. Fred 1 has some good stuff to it. It's pretty much Taxi Driver. But
Taxi Driver?
yeah, you know the movie Taxi Driver?
No.
Oh, well, I'm not going to go into detail. But if the viewer knows, the viewer knows. It's pretty much Taxi Driver, but with Fred as the main character instead of Robert De Niro.
What if Baby Driver had Fred in it?
It'd probably be a
What if
better
Fred
movie.
was the Baby Driver?
It'd probably be a better movie. Anyway, back on to Kick-Ass.
Yeah. Certainly product of its time, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, it definitely aged like fine milk.
It's a very dumb, silly movie and whatnot, and I could call it shit for what because it's low quality, it's not written well, but it's not meant to be a good movie.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of internet people making a silly thing because they wanted to.
I'll say I did not hate it.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it. And I think the first half of it, or maybe not first half, the first 30 minutes, like the first quarter or so, is actually pretty good. I was kind of entertained by the novelty of it, watching Doug Walker do his autistic Looney Tunes acting and all of the other characters. The novelty's there, but then it kind of goes away. For some reason, Doug Walker had it in his mind that he needed to make this movie feature length, an hour and 30 minutes.
It's actually an hour 46 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know where he got the idea that he had the writing prowess to pull that off. It's a stupid YouTuber movie. These are like little projects for the Channel Awesome members to collaborate in one big video. All you needed to do was make it 60 minutes.
I was thinking something about that because at a certain point after they do the silly bit with Santa Christ.
Yeah.
And then the movie, and then they
yeah.
just cut back to the hotel, and the movie continues on.
Mm-hmm.
For another 20 minutes, and I was just thinking why didn't it just end right there?
Yeah, it just
after the battle with Dr. Insano.
It just draws on, and there's so many jokes that could have been funny if they were not drawn on so long,
I do think there are quite a few funny jokes. Actually.
There were a few funny jokes. Yeah, I mean Doug Walker, he's the, I almost said angry video game nerd. He's the Nostalgia Critic, He had some funny stuff. There's some funny stuff.
There is a reason people watched him, even though that he's not the best movie reviewer, because he's funny.
Yeah, there's some funny stuff in it. Like a few jokes I thought had a good setup, and then they were consistently used throughout the movie, as any good comedy should.
I think,
and stuff like that. It's just there's parts of it that just draw on way too long, and it makes it very boring in the second half. Like that whole we don't have to get too far into detail about the plot. It's not a very plot heavy story, unlike Friendship, I guess. But there's little pieces that just go on forever. One example is this could have been a really funny scene. The siege scene could have been very funny, but it loses that comedic stride halfway through that part. It just gets very boring. The same, like, you got Angry Joe shooting his, what are they, like M13s or whatever, the
Yeah, his
submachine
plastic
guns,
M13s.
like going around in circles. That's funny maybe once or twice, but it happens 5, 6, 7 times throughout the scene. And then you have Doug screaming the whole time, and it really loses its comedic edge, and that happens consistently throughout the movie. They'll have a funny joke that that outstays its welcome.
But yeah, I still think that it's not like comedic gold or anything, but there's still quite a few funny bits that I like. Like my favorite joke is probably like when they're talking about like when they're like when Doug is like hyping up everybody. He's saying about like Kickassia, and he says, and it's going to be a democracy, and then Linkara says, why a democracy? And then Doug replies, because I said so.
Yeah, that's a good joke. That whole scene is pretty good. I like the, are you a Nazi, Linkara? Oh, no. And then later on he goes, just think of the Nazis, what they had to go through to make their, that was pretty good.
Are you Nazis or are you Nazis?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Did you notice how oddly handsy Doug Walker is with Lindsay Ellis, the nostalgia chick?
No, I don't remember. I don't really remember that.
Really?
No.
So there's a hotel room scene where you remember when he's talking about her being the vice president?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's grabbing onto her and like just making it very awkward. I don't think it was intentional. So did you ever hear about the Channel Awesome documents?
No.
Really? Okay, so years later, I think maybe 4 years ago at this point, there was this huge expose document that came out about Channel Awesome, the people in it, implicating like Doug Walker, Jew Wario, which was the guy wearing the Wario hat.
Yeah, I figured.
There was really weird, kind of creepy stuff. Doug had the least of it, to be fair.
Which is surprising and also very nice.
Yes, but Jew Wario had some of the worst of it. He sexually assaulted like people and
Ooh.
yeah, did pretty horrible things and then killed himself. So it just makes scenes where Doug is like touching Lindsay Ellis and stuff, it just that much more awkward, and it stands out that much more in my mind. Maybe it didn't stand out to you because you hadn't seen the documents.
No, I had not.
Yeah.
I do like the bit about the 2D. I like the running bits about the 2D guy.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then he turns into 3D.
Yeah, and then he's like constantly like molesting himself and like others because he's like, oh my god, is this what it's like to be 3D?
Yeah. He's a rant Sona.
He had like his whole identity was being a rant Sona. He was the first PNG tuber.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. I also like how Doug Walker. I like the M Bison bit, like the M Bison bit through the entire movie.
Yeah, I will say about Doug Walker, I liked him the least in this movie. He grinds my gears. I don't like his overacting. He's going for like a Looney Tunes shtick with his Nostalgia Critic character, but it's a 30-year-old man that's not a cartoon, so it comes off.
I didn't mind it.
Very annoying. I did. I will put that out there. I found him extremely annoying. But there were standouts. Like I liked what was that guy's name? Cinema Snob. I liked Cinema Snob quite a bit, actually. For being he's just a critic. He's just a movie critic that was with Channel Awesome. But he was a pretty good actor. So was what's his name? Angry Joe. Angry Joe was a pretty good actor too, and most of his bits landed with me, and definitely landed with me more than a lot of Doug Walker's bits.
I like how it wasn't AVGN. It was it's just his name.
Yeah.
James. He had a cameo.
Mm-hmm.
As Bored James, and I liked that bit where they were using a risk board in place of a map, and then someone asked, "How the fuck do you actually play Risk?" And then Bored James comes in and like just genuinely explains how to play Risk in like a minute.
See, I thought that went on too long. I think if
I thought it was cute.
See, if they started it and then somebody cut it off, was like no, or something like that, I think it would have been a whole lot better. But he gets a full minute of just explaining how to play Risk, and that in a comedy movie just like makes the movie to go to a halt, in my opinion. So I see we differ quite a bit on this movie,
which is weird. Of all the things to have discourse about, this fucking
it sounds
Kickassia.
like you liked this movie more than I did.
Which is weird because I thought it would be the other way around.
There was stuff I liked about the movie for sure. There's a lot I don't like about it, especially in that second act. They had to pad things out for time so hard, so the jokes last longer. Things start getting pulled and pulled and pulled. It gets so boring by the middle half. I watched the first half in the laundromat parking lot on my phone, and I was chuckling here and there. And then the second half I watched at home playing Daggerfall, and even while playing Daggerfall, I got bored while watching it. That's how boring the second half of the movie was for me. Did you know Malassia is like a real thing?
Yes, I'm fully aware of Malassia. And first of all, I want to say Bao. He's very good. He's very good. Maybe very good is a strong word for it, but he's good in this movie. I like him.
Who's Bao?
The president of Malaysia.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked all of his little bits, like the Gestapo-looking guy he turns into, and he's like, "No, I'm not the president of Malassia. I'm Eric von Schultz," or whatever he calls himself. I liked all of that.
There's also the opening bit. You probably don't like the joke because it's like it goes on for a little too long, but I like the bit where he talks to himself, and he changes into both of the outfits.
No, that one was fine.
Which by the way, I feel the need to bring this up. Malassia has its own website.
Yes.
It's kind of used. It's kind of used as kind of like a blog for the family that lives there, but
does he still post on?
Yeah, he still updates it. He still updates it.
Really?
The latest one was from there's several from January 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he still updates it, and all of these posts are written like they're genuine news. Say, let me get this excerpt from the let me get this excerpt from the latest one. During the first couple's visit, several marine iguanas are seen basking on coastal rocks, seemingly innocent, although they were certainly East German spies seeking intel on the first couple's activities.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all written like that.
Yeah, kind of.
And what I'm getting at is, there is history.
Mm-hmm.
There's a history tab on the Malaysia website, and the events of Kickassia is treated as canon.
I love that.
It's treated as genuine history.
I mean, it is. What are you talking about?
It is, yes, it is genuine history,
This
and there's
really happened.
there's a picture Doug Walker here.
That is kind of awesome. I wonder how he got in contact with the Malassia guy. I'm assuming he just sent him an email and was like, "Hey, I want to make a video with a bunch of YouTuber buddies, storming your micronation," and the guy was just down for it.
Yeah.
I wonder how old he is.
As you've heard a second ago, the Bao is a very silly fella.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I had heard about Malassia like way before I'd ever.
Oh yeah,
even
me
heard
too.
Of Kickassia, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, I do think the bits with his family was kind of funny.
Yeah, I think it was okay. Just again, it happened way too often. I think. I think if they just did it a few times, maybe once in the beginning, once or twice in the middle, and then once in the end, it'd be fine. But it was just okay. Let's take this good joke and then keep pulling out of it. And these jokes, they're not that good. They're okay. They're okay at face. But if you just take these okay jokes and you keep pulling it and pulling it, it just gets so boring and needlessly. I mean, like I said, I fully believe this movie would be better if it was 60 minutes. That's it. There was no need for, there was no need to make this an hour and a half. And if you look at the other two movies Doug Walker and that guy with the glasses did, the next movie's 2 hours and 3 minutes long. And then guess how long the third movie is?
4 hours, wasn't it?
It's 3.5 hours.
Jesus.
So it's only getting worse from here. Those jokes were, you seem to have a bit more of, I wouldn't say understanding, but like you're more okay with the jokes overstaying their welcome than I was. I think that will test your patience. Honestly.
Oh yeah, 100% will. I don't think anyone can sit through a fucking 3-hour movie unless it's like a goddamn masterpiece.
Well, we're going to.
Yeah, no, I know.
We'll get to it eventually.
Which, by the way, back to that, the bits with the family. The fact that most of them are reading Game Informer made me very sad because I used to read Game Informer when I was a kid.
You know, Game Informer is running again.
It is?
Yeah. They started running
How?
again. I'm not sure, but I remember seeing advertisements.
Damn.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Get some Game Informer, man. I used to watch. I used to read some Game Informer as well. I think part of the problem is they're not quite necessary anymore.
Yeah.
Because the company that owned the Game Informer magazines, they write articles now on the internet. So.
Yeah. I will say, Doug is a watcher of Hogan's Hero based.
I've never
seen
Hogan's Hero.
I love Hogan's Heroes.
What is that?
So it's a movie. Not a movie. It's like an older show about a group I guess a group of soldiers under the command of one Hogan. But the thing is, though, they got captured by Nazis.
Okay.
This is World War II. That's the premise of the show, is that they follow, Hogan and his soldiers, doing their operations while under the watch of like comedic relief Nazis.
Okay, so you've been naming stuff you like. Is there anything you did not like throughout the movie?
It was very 2011. It was very cringe.
Well, yeah.
Did not age well in a lot of places.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah. I will say though, I don't even think part of it isn't even a product of its time. Part of it's just straight up the product of being a Doug Walker production. All of his stuff reeks with that kind of cringe.
And also, a thing that's not necessarily a criticism is just, yeah, like this is not really a criticism at all. It's just like I don't watch that much Channel Awesome, so a lot of the references are kind of lost on me.
Well, you knew Angry Joe, right?
Yeah, I know about Angry Joe vaguely.
Yeah.
I know about the Lightbringer.
Spoonie, seeing Spoonie in this, that's another just silly thing because of his past after the height of that guy with the glasses. Had you heard of any of the Spoonie lore?
I know about Doctor Insano.
Well, okay, so Spoonie, he's kind of an eternal loser, and he does it to himself. There's an infamous video where him and Angry Joe are at, I think it's E3 or something like that, maybe PAX. They're
Oh boy.
they're doing like press stuff, basically talking about games and stuff like that, and they were invited there. They didn't just go; they were invited as press to play these games and stuff like that. And after playing, I forget which game it was. They played a game or something, and then they're sitting out in the conference hall. You can see all these people in the background, and they're talking into the microphones. And then Spoonie goes, "I have just one thing to say after playing this game: betrayal!" Screams it out into the entire convention hall, and just goes, "Betrayal! This game stunk!" And they're here as guests. So that not only fucked Spoonie, that fucked Angry Joe and the guy recording. These people have not been invited to these conventions to try games since because of Spoonie. And he has this track record of just constantly undermining himself all throughout his YouTube career. He quit some years ago, but before he quit, he decided he wanted to make a movie because all of the alumni from that guy with the glasses, for some reason, wanted to make a movie. You have Linkara with Atop the Fourth Wall, which we might get to. You have all of the Doug Walker movies. He still makes movies too. So yeah, Spoonie wanted to make a movie called That Spoonie Movie, and he did a crowdfund for it, and then never delivered at all. There's no.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, there's no footage of this. He basically just got like $10,000 from his fans and did nothing with it. And then he quit YouTube. I think about maybe 7-8 years ago now, and nobody's heard from him since. He's just a constant loser. So it's funny to see him in these movies because I know what happens later after that guy with the glasses, and it's not even, you know. You can feel bad for people when their careers hit a nosedive, but that was his fault. If you look at Angry Joe, which was that guy with the glasses alumni, I checked his channel while watching Kickassia because I used to watch Angry Joe as a kid. I used to watch Angry Joe a lot, and this guy Angry Joe pre-YouTube. And then during the YouTube era, he was that guy with the glasses alumni, and he still consistently makes around 100,000 views. This is an old YouTuber. I expected his channel. I expected him to still upload because I see his uploads suggest to me every once in a while. But I did not expect him to still have a fairly successful YouTube career. He's still riding a high he got back in like 2012, 2013. And you look at Linkara, that's somebody who should be extremely dated by now. And even he doesn't make Angry Joe views, but he makes a solid like 20 to 30,000 views a video, and he does,
despite him being kind of a cringe lord.
Yeah, and he does like weekly uploads. So he has a relatively successful YouTube career as well. He has had the same career for well over a decade now, maybe almost 2 decades, like 15, 16 years. So Spoonie, he had potential to continue to ride out his career, but he fucked himself every second of it. Every turn, any chance he could get, he fucked it. And now he's gone.
Yeah, that's sad.
It's kind of sad, but I don't feel bad for him. You know, if he didn't do it to himself, then that'd be one thing, but he did. He did it to himself. And there's a whole thing on it. Have you ever heard of that YouTuber Down the Rabbit Hole?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he has a Spoonie documentary that you might want to watch.
Really now?
Yes.
All right, I'll keep that in mind for later.
Yeah, you should watch it. You'll understand. You'll be like, oh, okay.
So I think to conclude, the credits have art. I don't know who made it or if they were paid or whatnot, but there's art in the credits that like recap the events of the movie, and it's like a soft, clean, very round art style, and it's like you could very tell it's one of those art styles where you could very much tell like the exact year it was drawn.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It is peak 2010s art style. I would say.
What about
just very?
What about that intro? I did not care much for the intro.
The intro was whatever. Honestly, I didn't really care. What I didn't really like was the opening bit where Doug is like the it's time bit.
Oh, I did like that. I think it's another case of a joke going on too long, but I did like that bit.
Yeah, it did go on too long. There are some parts of that was funny, but yeah, it did drag on for fucking forever.
Yeah. The problem I had with the intro was the intro credits had nothing to do with the movie whatsoever. It was just random, not Revolutionary War, Civil War era paintings and shit. It was very stupid.
What are you talking about? Those were paintings for Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was stupid. It had no, like, if they're gonna go out of their way to have art in the outro credits that recap everything that happened in the movie, then why not do the same or maybe not recap bits of the story, but like get art commissioned of Doug Walker and his M. Bison outfit and the
I
other
will
characters,
say,
you know.
I would pay like $100. I would pay a lot of money to see a painting of that one Napoleon picture on his horse, but like it's Doug Walker.
That would be funny. Anything else?
I think that's I think that's it out of me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to say about this movie.
We are maybe not the best people to review this movie because I watched maybe like a few Nostalgia Critic reviews, like one of the Cat in the Hat. I did watch his review of The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Yeah.
You know, I think we can judge it just as a movie, though. It is a movie.
Yeah.
We don't have to have, like... I mean, I think just being on the internet, we have enough...
context.
Yeah, we know Nostalgia Critic and all that.
Yeah, but this probably would have a lot more impact with someone who actively watched Channel Awesome as a kid.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. Okay. How?
Yeah.
I will say. What do you rate this movie out of 10? We should do that at the end of every episode.
Uh, 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it a
Is it
3. Maybe
3.5?
2.5. I might bump it down to 2.5 just because of how boring that second half was.
I think a 3 is okay.
Fair enough. All right. Well,
Most
that's
of
it.
most of my personal problems with the movie is just it being a product of its time and not like it being a genuinely. Well, it is a genuinely bad film, but like you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. All right. Well, that's it. See ya.
See ya.